You shouldn't be walking around by yourself.
God! 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 Quick!
Hail, fellow.
Quick! God!
Whoa! Whoa!
God!
Whoa! Whoa!
The Lord be with you.
God! Quick!
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
By the weather, do you mean that old ball and chain of yours? If I was
Don't bullshit me or you'll be sorry.
Jesus Christ be praised. Fucking steel. What do you want, you yokel? Speak up or get lost.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Go over to the anvil and let's get started. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works the bellows. Tell the temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time and take a look. Try it out. See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. Hurry up now. It's cooling and you're not doing anything. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. Well struck. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. They can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them. though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house, there are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work.
Greetings to you. How can I help?
Show me your wares.
Maybe next time then.
Get it up when it's going to be sunny next time, and we'll be the three wise men.
3 cripples, more like. God bless you.
Nasty premonition.
That's
What
nice,
premonition? I've got a barrel of ale that I'm afraid will go bad on me soon. Someone should...
A large beer for me.
Something about that.
Aye, I'm in a right bind.
Careful!
What are friends for if not to help each other?
Great! It's a...
You're having problems with the Jellyovites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year, they broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your aim back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Jellyovites right away.
All right. I'll help you.
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Jelyov, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is, the finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Olbram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right, then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Jelyov lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial, but the Jellyovites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper arse kicking so he'd remember it, and remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way around, and that pasture belonged to Jelyov.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Gelievites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Oldbrum always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Gelievites are at wit's end, they come at us, and nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Oldbrum came along, claiming it was the other way round. And that pasture belonged to Gelioff.
Well, that's a tough nut to crack. Have you tried asking Lord von Burgoth for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Oldbrum ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
What's new around here?
You should pay a visit to Old Mouth sometime. He's our local storyteller, you know. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things, but only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper.
I'll have a look at the wares.
Maybe next time then.
Greetings to you.
People call you the Mouth, right? They say you tell all sorts of stories.
I'm no mouth to you. My name is Denyek. Got that? What do people call you then? Bughead? Arseface?
I'm sorry, Stenyak. I'm Henry.
Pleased to meet you. But you were right about the stories. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
To your health, my friend.
Thank you very much. I knew you wouldn't leave me high and dry. So what kind of story would you like to hear?
I like stories that can teach me something. Stories with a moral.
Haven't you heard enough of those in church? But it's not a problem. I have just the tale for you. And it's not one you'll hear from any priest. So, once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, At the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He'd pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the silver axe back. He searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
I reckon that was the right choice. Who knows who the silver axe belonged to?
Well, quite. Listen on. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep both axes." Matthias, not hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth, so he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself, so he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one!" But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, the water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down a hole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
Oh, that's so cruel. I feel sorry for Kuba.
Aye, and so did Matthias. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used a silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against the big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
That was a very nice story.
Story? What story? It's the truth.
But why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe then?
Because it brings misfortune. Didn't you listen to me at all? Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Water Goblin's pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. I'm fine here with my drink. Take care, friend.
Ah! Quick!
Praise.
I hear you have some problems with wolves.
You can say that again. Those fucking mangy beasts are eating my sheep. They take them like they were for sale at the market.
Did you notice an ordinary mutt amongst those wolves?
You know, there might have been. I didn't get a close look at them, but one seemed to be smaller and was a strange colour.
That could have been Mutt.
If I understand you, you're looking for your dog and think he might be with those wolves, right?
That's right. I'll have to find that pack to see if it's him.
I'll say, since you're already going after that pack, would you mind doing a good deed? If you kill those furry fuckers, there'll be a reward in it for you.
Why not? I can kill two birds with the one stone.
That's great. It'll be well worth your while.
I hope so. Where can I find that wolf pack?
I was grazing my sheep up on the slope last time, by the forked birch, and those monsters learned to go there. I don't take my sheep there anymore, but those fuckers still go sniffing around over there.
So we'll bring your flock up there again and wait and see if they come.
Are you fucking mad? I don't want to lose any more sheep. I think you just need some bait.
Not even one single sheep. I promise I'll look after it.
Well, I could lend you Ignatius. He's the stupidest ram I've ever seen. Or the brightest. Depends on how you look at it.
What do you mean? Can he do somersaults? Does he know how to count?
That'll be all I need. The only thing that little devil knows how to do is piss me off. When I want him to move, he sits still. When I want him to sit still, he fucks off to where I can't find him.
I know people like that.
Right. But you can tell a person to fuck off. But when it's a sheep, you're wasting your breath. And on top of that, you have to take good care of him.
So I'll take Ignatius and use him as bait?
Right. But he's so stupid he's smart. I'm certain he'll come back to me.
All right. I'll take Ignatius and go and have a look around that forked birch. Will he come with me, or will I have to lead him up somehow?
That bugger will follow you himself. Just wave a carrot in front of his face. He's mad for carrots. I can't even count the times he's rammed his way into my house to get some. I happen to have one here. If you take it with you, he'll follow you around like a loyal dog. When you get to the pasture, just throw the carrot and then go and hide. Ignatius will stay there.
Where can I hide there?
There's a thicket across the road. But don't worry. If the wolves go after the sheep, they won't notice you. But you'll hear them from far away as they get closer. I don't know anything more horrifying than the sound of their damned howling.
See you soon, my friend.
How are you, Ignatius? Sorry. I thought now that we're partners, you'd be a bit more talkative. Why do they call you Ignatius? All right. Keep it to yourself. Don't you think we've been chatting long enough? I'm glad. Let's go and get this over with. birch. I think I've found the spot. Well, Ignatius, I'll put your snack right here. Now, come and eat it up. Once you see a wolf, just out loud, and then run away. All right? I'll be hiding in the bushes, and we'll jump out to save you in time. They're coming. Ah!
You're a dead man.
I've been waiting for you.
I'll rip your arse open! You want to try me? Do it! Useless.
I yield. Mercy. I'm back because of those wolves of yours.
Ah, I'm glad to see you alive and healthy. How did it go?
It went well. They won't bother you anymore.
Did you kill them all?
Aye. All of them. Although one might have got away.
A single wolf can't do much damage. So you are owed something for your efforts.
I didn't find my dog among them.
Did you try to ask our gamekeeper? He might be a drunk, but he'd probably notice a stray dog in the woods. He doesn't live far away. Down the hill here along the road. Right on the rock above the pond.
I wanted to tell you something about Ignatius.
Did something happen to him?
How should I put this? The wolves were faster.
Poor creature. I thought I'd be glad to get rid of him, but... Actually, I feel sorry for him. Did he suffer much?
It was quick. The wolf jumped, and it was all over.
At least it was fast. Take care.
Fire off! Right now.
Praise God.
God bless.
I need something that'll put animals to sleep. Project said you might know something.
Did you get tired of blacksmithing and take up farming instead? I just happen to know of something. I used a concoction that will put even a startled mare to sleep in no time. I once accidentally drank some and slept for 3 days. But the recipe is an old blacksmith's secret. The kind you don't just give away. You're in the trade, so I can tell you. Listen up then. You take some poppy and thistle and boil them in oil. Then, after it cools off, you add a little herb Paris.
That doesn't sound too complicated. Thank you.
What are you here for, friend? It's about those 2 idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semine that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semine.
Those 2 hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Samin wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Samin's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. I heard you could teach me something.
For a few groschen, it's no problem. What do you want to know?
Burning. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've got half finished. Damn, it's burning.